Hey all, we're here with Ben and Brevin from Yotuma. If you don't know them, they're a groovy ass death metal band out of Wisconsin.
Yep.
Fucking
Madison.
cheeseheads.
Yep.
I was kind of bummed you guys didn't bring any spotted cow down when you fucking played indie last weekend.
Oh yeah, yeah. The dudes in One Body Six Graves, I think, wanted us to, but we forgot on the way back down. But that's what everybody says when we play out of state shows. You
Yeah.
can't get it anywhere else. So
Yeah, there was a story probably 4 or 5 years ago of someone that was buying it and taking it somewhere else and trying to sell it and uh
really.
they fucking found out and sued him and shit.
Oh damn. Oh, I didn't hear about that. That's fucking
Yeah.
wild.
They're really uptight about that for some reason.
Yeah.
Well, I'm sure there's a couple of things, right? Like they only have so much capacity to actually brew so much beer and if it goes out, right? The one thing is they might not be able to handle the capacity and on the flip side, like they're like it's mine. It's all mine, my precious,
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Well, it's really good. So I mean, that's fair.
For sure. For sure. So I don't know a lot about Yotuma, right? Like I was digging into you guys because of the Illusion of Fate guys, and I dig the tunes. How did the band start?
But basically, I guess if you want to go way back, I was just kind of writing material kind of on my own, like in high school and stuff. And I was just like, oh, maybe I'll do something with it one day. We'll see. And then like COVID happened, and I was just going super stir crazy with all this material. And I was just like, man, I want to like form a band and like perform this shit. You know what I mean? And then I met Ella, our bass player, first. We were jamming with a different drummer at the time, and that didn't end up working out. But then we had a mutual friend who ended up being our first drummer, and then we found Ryan, I think, through Craigslist as well. And then we kind of just started getting together and jamming. Then we wrote like our first EP, Age of Acrimony. I consider it more of like a demo because like we recorded the whole thing in our basement with like minimal mics. We recorded like all the rhythm guitars and drums in like one fucking day, and it was just super rough. So, um, but I mean, it is what it is. It's where we started, and it's cool to look back at that and like where we are now as far as like quality and songwriting goes and stuff. Um, but yeah, and then our original drummer ended up going to Berkeley actually. So then after that, we found Brevin because his girlfriend
At a
had,
bar.
yeah, for like her whole life. So um, and yeah, just basically as soon as quarantine lifted, we just kind of tried to gig as much as possible, make up for all the time. We were just cooped up inside, not able to play shows. Um, yeah, and just trying to stay busy as much as we can, gig out of state. Um, and then yeah, we recorded our second EP. Like I consider it our first because the first one is more like a demo to me. Otherworldly Incarnate released that almost a year ago. I believe we released it like April 1st, I believe, on in 2023. Um, and yeah, ever since then, like we're still kind of writing material that we're going to be demoing pretty soon. Um, we've started to play a few of the songs live. I'm pretty stoked on the new stuff. It's a little more like meticulous. I don't want to say technical because I don't want to give people the impression we're going for like a tech death kind of thing. Um, but no, we're just kind of exploring how dynamic I guess we can get like with our song structures and stuff like that, and kind of how we can make the tension and release, you know what I mean, and kind of perfecting that. And because that's what I've noticed like crowds respond to the most, you know what I mean, is when there's a lot of different parts and they all flow together, really nicely and stuff. So
Yeah.
um so yeah, that's what we've been focusing on now. And yeah, just basically staying as busy as we can. Obviously we had those two little, I'm not going to call it a tour because there was a week in between, they're like weekend warrior
Yeah.
shit, you know what I mean? With Illusion of Fate. And that's been a long time coming. Like those boys have been our day one homies. They played our first show ever with us actually. So we've been meaning to set up a run with them for fucking ever. And for whatever reason it didn't work out. Well, half of that band is in Casket Robbery, if you're familiar
Yeah.
with it. And they're super busy, you know what I mean? So it's hard to find a time where they can go out on the road, because Brian and Austin are usually busy with casket stuff.
Yeah.
We finally made it work, and I'm really glad we did. Definitely some of the best shows we ever played, especially that Black Circle one. But I'm so bummed that they had to cut it short, man. I was so looking forward to seeing Deterioration, man.
Yeah. Well, and Redivider's really fucking good too. Like
Yeah,
they're from Louisville where I live, and they're like everyone's like, dude, you got to go fucking see them. So I was super excited to see them too, and it was like most of the bands kicked so much fucking ass,
oh yeah,
and the crowd was super reactive. It was fantastic.
yeah, most definitely. But at least I got to catch like half of One Body Six Graves set
Yeah.
because like somebody ran into a fucking light pole, I think, in the middle of their set.
No, in the middle of your set.
Oh well, I think that was just a breaker or something. Is that what that was, or is that when it happened? That it
That's
just
when it
took a while
happened.
for it to actually shut
So
down.
yeah,
Or
they hit
okay,
the pole when you guys were on stage
okay,
because that I mean you guys remember, right? Power goes
yeah,
out
yeah. Oh, of course,
and
yeah,
fucking Jay does his Alex Terrible impression. And
yeah.
and then like I think it was like emergency power kicked on to keep everything going.
That makes sense.
And
Okay,
then when they figured it out, they shut everything back down.
sure, sure. Okay, yeah, that makes a lot more sense. Yeah, that was the first for us, but you just kind of got to roll with the punches, man. Unexpected shit happens like that. But
For sure. It makes for a really cool fucking story though, like
I mean, kind of a shitty one. I really wanted to see Deterioration, but I'll have to catch those guys again someday. But yeah, man. But
for
I felt
sure.
really bad because I think they drove out from Minneapolis just for that show. I don't think they were on like a run or something like that. I think it was like a one-off for them, and it's just like imagine you drive all that fucking way and you don't get to play. I'm sure they still got paid. You know what I mean? But but
Yeah, I would hope so because I mean they didn't refund any fucking ticket sales or bar sales or anything.
yeah, they were talking about doing like a early matinee show on like Sunday to make up for it and just have those three bands, but I don't know if that ended up happening or not. I don't think it did.
Yeah, I don't
But
think so either. I didn't hear anything about it.
okay. Yeah, our homie Les, who works at Black Circle, was telling us that, but he was like, I don't know if they're following through with it or not, but I don't think they did. But
So Black Circle on Sundays typically do like early shows,
yeah.
and it fucked me up. I was going to see Extinction AD. They did like 2 weeks out to FTA and back to New York.
Mm.
And so I went and caught them like four fucking dates. And one of those dates, the last one was at Black Circle. And I'm at brunch with my family, just we're like hanging out, drinking, fucking eating. And I
Yeah.
look and I'm like, oh shit, it says the show starts at 4 o'clock. Like, I gotta
Yeah.
fucking go. And my wife's like, your show isn't until later. I'm like, no, 4 o'clock. I gotta fucking go now.
Yeah. Yeah. Damn, that sucks, man. Yeah, I guess I don't know what the logic of that is. I guess like they're just afraid people are gonna, leave because they have work early the next day or something. Like I'm all for an early show, but like I don't know, not at 2 p.m. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? I couldn't make that work.
Yeah, it's
But
fuck. Well, for me, it's a fucking 2 hour drive. So I was like, I gotta hit the thing. But even 4 o'clock is not. It's not terrible. Just weird.
sure, sure. I think we might be playing a matinee show at Black Circle on our upcoming tour we have with Via Aggression. That's like the last day of it. Um and yeah, the show's not announced yet. So I don't know if I can say the lineup or not, but it's really cool because there was another tour package that wanted that day too, and we just combined both of them,
Hell
like
yeah.
a tour package and another one. So I'm really stoked for the lineup, but it's like five bands. So I don't know if they're doing an early show for that or not. But Dustin was saying like, oh, we might push it back a little bit just because it's a lot of bands. It's hard to do an early show with like, more than four bands, you know what I
Yeah.
mean? We'll see
Yeah.
how it goes. I love that venue though. It's fucking awesome. I always love
It.
playing Circle.
Yeah. That place is cool as fuck. There's who else is there? Crowbar's there here in a couple of weeks.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. With like Morbid Visions, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Those dudes fucking rip, man. Oh yeah. I'm really stoked to. I was stoked to see them get on that tour. For real, they definitely deserve it. So that's awesome.
For sure. Yeah.
Yeah,
I always dig fucking Crowbar. Like I'm a long time fan of those guys.
for sure, for sure.
So Brevin, you've been super quiet, so I'm going to ask you what got you like playing music to begin with.
I grew up in a musical family. My dad's been a professional musician his whole life, playing rock music, and his father was a conductor and a music professor. My grandmother was a first chair violinist, and I don't know what symphonies, but she was good at violin, and so I started out at age 4 doing the very strict Suzuki violin program, like an hour lesson every day, get the slap on the wrist if you played the wrong note. And so I did that until I was like 11 or 12 years old, quit violin. I hated it so much, just the way I was brought up playing it and forced to do it. I mean, my family is very loving. I love my grandparents, but they were way too strict on me with the violin. And so I stopped playing it. I hated it. And then I just found my own calling to drums. Always had a drum set in my basement that I would just kind of play every now and then. And well, as soon as I was done playing violin, I just found myself playing drums, not because someone told me to, but because I like doing it. And then my biggest influence was Joey Jordison. I remember watching the Slipknot in the UK DVD from 2002 or 2001, something like that, and seeing Joey Jordison's drum solo. I thought, I want to do that. So that's what really inspired me. And I started as a teenager playing shows in cover bands with my dad, and then just progressed to the metal scene.
Hell yeah. So at what point did you realize you wanted to be into super heavy stuff? Like how old were you?
Um, I was probably so like I said I was about 12 when I discovered Slipknot, and I really enjoyed that music. And something that my guilty pleasure, I was a scene kid back in high school. I loved the old school Attack Attack, the Asking Alexandria. And one of the biggest draws to me was I loved their online presence where they post tour vlogs of them just doing stupid stuff on the road. And it's like, oh, I'd love to do that for a living. And so that kind of got me into the idea of just living in a van with some bros playing music all the time. And then I just kept getting in more extreme music like the Acacia Strain, and then getting into faster thrash stuff. And but yeah, by the end of high school, I was like, I want to play death metal. That's what I want to do out of high school, and that's what I've been trying to do since.
Hell yeah. All right. Who are some of your like favorite death metal bands right now?
Right now, I love Suffocation. I've loved them for a long time. Um, I go in and out of listening to Exhumed. They're just always a fun one to fall back on when you have nothing else to listen to. Cattle Decapitation's been really awesome. Uh, 200 Stab Wounds, of course. Uh, and I think one of my, geez, I can't even think of the name of them right now. Uh, it's one of those things where when it pops up on my Spotify, I know the band because of their logo. I can't read their logo, but when I see their logo, it's like I know that band.
Sanguisabog?
Thing with Sugabog, they're great, but it's not that one. It's another one where it's just comically large logo they aren't supposed to read. But
Okay.
I can't think of the name right now.
That's fucking
like that.
for sure. Yeah, that's
Great
I
marketing.
actually saw a meme today. It was like this dude with a big thing, and it was like when you can read all the death metal logos.
Yeah, I've seen that too, yeah.
Yeah, funny shit. So Ben, what about you? At what point, were you like, oh, I want to play fucking super heavy shit?
Sure. Well, I guess my kind of upbringing was a lot similar to Brevin's in the way that I was actually my first instrument was violin as well, actually Suzuki method, but a little less strict, I guess. But yeah, I was kind of my parents were like, "Oh, you need to learn an instrument," you know what I mean? And so I picked that up like when I was about 8 years old. Played it until I was like I think 12 or 13, and my dad had been playing in bands and stuff ever since I was a little kid, taking me out to shows and stuff. One of the most memorable shows I went to with him was seeing Jakey Lee at like this tiny little dive bar in like Janesville. Um, And then just seeing that, just being mesmerized by that, I was like, damn. And I started playing a shit ton of Guitar Hero, of course. That's how a lot of people get into playing guitar. And I guess first time I like heard Slayer, I was just like, that was a real like sharp left turn for me. I was like, I was just ever since then I was like pushing the envelope, of heavier and heavier shit to listen to. And I don't know, I go through phases of, like, oh, I'm really into doom metal, really into thrash metal. Testament was another really big one for me, just because of Eric Peterson's riffs, just the
Yeah.
hook fucking shit. He's just a fucking powerhouse. And then
What a
that kind of
fucking, what a badass rhythm player he is, dude.
oh yeah, it's like really underrated, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then that kind of evolved into like Lamb of God type stuff. Um, and I always kind of had a soft spot for like bands like High on Fire, kind of more doomy kind of stuff. And I saw High on Fire on tour one time when they played the Metro in Chicago, and Creeping Death opened for them, and I had never heard of them before at all. And then like I showed up, I think I saw like half of their set, and I was just like, Jesus fucking Christ, like who are these guys? You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Then I just really got into like the new wave of like death metal bands that have kind of the old school revival kind of sound, but Creeping Death was the one that like first kind of made me go down the rabbit hole, you know what I mean, and just get into more extreme shit. And you know yeah, I still listen to them all the time, but definitely like Suffocation for sure is up there for me too. Skeletal Remains all day, dude. Like seriously, like the tightest band ever. Um, bands like Stabbing, Analepsy, stuff like that, just kind of all across the board, and I kind of try to pull from all of those different subgenres and kind of, I'm not trying to say like we're doing anything unique, we're just taking our favorite parts of these bands that like we all love and just kind of putting them into one big pot.
Well,
Um,
almost honestly, almost no one's doing anything unique anymore. It's
exactly.
really, it's really fucking hard.
Yeah.
Uh, it's hard to find something so unique. I'll give it to you guys, right? Because you guys have such a fucking groove to the music that it really stands out against other bands. Because some of those bands are just chug, 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 the
Sure.
whole fucking time.
Yeah. Well, I appreciate you saying that, man, because that's definitely what we're going for. Like, there's so many bands that are just trying to be as brutal as possible. I'm like, I'm here for it. Like I enjoy it, but it's
Yeah.
just like once you reach the ceiling of how fucking heavy you can be, it's like where are you gonna go? You know what I mean? Like it's just, I don't know. I like to make shit that's interesting. That people can move to. You know what I mean? Um, I don't know. I try to make it a little, I don't know, not so self indulgent, I guess. But not to say I don't
Yeah,
like to
there's
be.
a fest we play down in Texas where it was a lot of bands on the bill, and all the bands are great, great musicians and everything. It was a very chuggy slam fest, and uh, it's like the first two bands when I heard them play, I was like, damn, they're so heavy. I wish we had a couple more songs that sounded like this. It was great, and then band after band, like you're the fifth band in, and it's just you get a little tired of the slam riffs. You're like, all right, I'm glad we have a couple of groove parts in our set now.
Yeah.
You can only listen to it for so long, you know what I mean? But I think that shit's cool. Like I'm not talking shit at all. It's just that's not the band like I want to be. I still listen to bands like that all the time. You know what I
Sure.
mean? So I couldn't go on tour and play that material every day myself. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's
Um,
not for everyone though, right? Like that's the beauty of everyone having their own, their own band and their own vision. You can leave the internal bleeding stuff to internal bleeding,
oh yeah,
and then
yeah,
let Skeletal Remains do them and just go, oh man, I really dig that part and how they fucking
yeah,
progressed this way with these drums. And okay, let's pull it together and make something really fucking happen.
absolutely. Yeah, that's what it's all about. For sure. Oh yeah.
For sure. So uh otherworldly incarnate, obviously, like your first release, I think you were saying, Ben.
Oh
Uh
hey.
what what brought on like the artwork and what made you say, okay, this is what we're gonna name it?
Well, I kind of just stumbled upon this artist on Instagram. His Instagram is the Black Catalog. If you want to look into it, but he just had this really, it just popped up in my feed one day, and it just really had this unique kind of aesthetic to it that I just really vibed with. And I've always been fascinated with like ancient civilizations and stuff like that, and I was like really wanted to incorporate that like thematically and like in our band and stuff. Um, so I was just like, this is the guy to get the imagery down for sure. And I kind of presented him with like kind of a cobbled together Photoshop kind of like I wanted, and he just knocked it out of the park. I didn't ask him to change anything with the album art and stuff. Like he just fucking nailed it. Um, and yeah, as far as the album title goes, I was kind of just playing off like the lyrical themes that our previous vocalist Ryan was kind of working with. Like the whole album is kind of like a concept album, like the storyline he created of like typical kind of like summoning demons type shit. You know what I mean? But like I was trying to do it in a more unique way, not so typical. You know what I mean? I like that he left his lyrical themes kind of ambiguous and kind of up to for interpretation. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? Like I really think too many bands are like really just straight to the point about what the song is about. You know what I mean? But I think it's cool when the lyrical themes are a little more ambiguous and kind of like everybody can have their own kind of take on what it is. You get the general idea, but the specifics are kind of like up to you. You know
Well,
what I mean?
that's where I think a lot of the conversations go with I'm a little bit older than you guys, and it was very as you say, right, ambiguous growing up. People weren't straight to the point, so you can interpret it however the fuck you wanted to interpret it, you know.
Mm. Yeah, and I
Uh
think that shit's really cool. Most definitely. I mean, just like there's not just one way to look at something. You know what I mean? And I want
yeah.
everybody to experience the music differently.
Hell
So.
yeah. So uh Jay, is he the new guy or was he just for the run?
Well, we're feeling it out with a few people for the vocalist position. Like, I really, we've been homies with Jay for a long time. We played with his band. He's still in Cast and Fire. Um, really, really, really good band. Like, seriously, check him out. Highly recommend. More like kind of Lamb of God style. But as soon as we unexpectedly had to part ways with our with Ryan and stuff, he was the first guy that came to mind, as far as stage presence goes. And like, he's a professional. He helps load in gear all the time, which I was like, a vocalist loading gear. Oh my God, I've never I've never seen that before. But he's just a professional. He's cool to be around, and I think that's the number one thing that gets overlooked. I think when bands are trying people out, is like, can you hang out with them for like 2 weeks to a month, if you had to, what I mean? Would you guys get sick of each other? Would you guys just be having a great time the whole time? You know what I mean? And I was just like, yeah, Jay's the fucking man. He rules. Um, so we're kind of just doing some runs with him, and another guy, and just kind of seeing like how they are on the road. You know what I mean? Because people are totally different after being on tour for like a week. You know what I mean? And
Yeah.
if a person has like a shitty attitude, that drags the whole band down. You know what I mean? And you can't have that. But
Yeah.
I don't think he's been doing a great, like phenomenal, seriously just knocking it out of the park. He got sick over that past weekend actually, where we played at Black Circle Indie, and then we were opening up for Fuming Mouth yesterday. Um, and I was like, "Oh, dude, like, do you want me to find somebody to fill in?" And like, we weren't able to, but he just still just powered through and did it. You know what I mean? And I'm just
Hell
like,
yeah.
that's the kind of attitude we're looking for. You know what I mean? Um, but yeah, I was like, dude, we can't cancel the show. Like, Fuming Mouth is one of my favorite bands. Like, I've been listening to them since like high school and shit. They were a big influence, like on my writing style, like the kind of metallic hardcore kind of shit, meeting like the death metal stuff
Yeah.
that they combine. I was like, that's what I want to do. You know what I mean? So I was like, there's no way I'm dropping this show. Like, we'll play
Right.
instrumentally if we have to. You know what I mean? But yeah, he powered through. So yeah, he's an excellent front man for
Hell
sure.
yeah. Yeah, he did really good at Black Circle. Uh,
Yeah,
I was impressed, and frankly, I was impressed with every band that played that night.
yeah,
Well, almost every band that played that night.
sure.
Uh, there's one. I'm not even gonna say where in the lineup they were, but I was like, no.
Yeah. I mean, there are some pretty meathead fucking bands, but I love that shit. I
Yeah.
love it to death, you know what I mean? Um, I don't know, just everybody's stage presence was just fucking amazing. Every band there like knew how to command a crowd, you know, in my opinion at least. But yeah, I know the crowd would have gone insane for fucking deterioration. I'm really I was gonna be in that pit fucking shit up, but
Well, those little fucking kids, dude, that were like what 8 or 9 or whatever, they were just tearing it up.
oh yeah, yeah, they were pulling. You know, that's how some shows go. You know
Mm.
what I mean? But that's cool to see for sure. Rather than a bunch of old guys just standing there with their arms crossed, just staring at you. You know, like
Yeah.
it's boring. You know.
I was
It's
the old
also really
guy.
nice to be where it's raw. Like there's so many fests you go to where there's like 10 to 20 bands playing, and there's bound to be a few of those bands where it's like 60% of what they're doing is backing tracks, or they got the guitar track when they should have two guitar players. The one guitar player they do have is doing the rhythm part, not the lead, and that stuff kind of gets on my nerves. But it was nice to have a fest where every band is actually bringing it raw, and what you're hearing is the full band and their full emotion being put into it.
I'll
Yeah.
tell you, I've never had that experience where like a majority or even half of the bands are doing backing tracks like that. Like most everyone that I've seen, and my experiences have all been like live shit. Do they have some backing tracks? Absolutely. But I would say like small percentage, like the intro, right? And there might be a segue between songs or something in the middle, but
Yeah. Oh,
That's the beauty of death metal is you don't see it often in death metal.
yeah. You do occasionally, and it just feels like you're kind of listening to a recording. It doesn't feel like you're listening to a band. You know, like I feel like you need the stage volume. Um, I'm not a digital guy. You know what I mean? I'm not saying that there's not a purpose for it. It's just way harder for the sound guy to pull it off and make it sound like it's an organic, like tube amp on stage.
yeah.
You know what I mean? Like it's way easier to just have a fucking half stack and just crank it to fucking 11 on stage. That's my philosophy. It's dumb, it's simple, but it works every time. It's consistent. You know what I mean?
Dumb and simple works, like
Yeah,
there's
exactly. And if the sound guy won't turn you up in the monitors, well, you got that volume knob right there. You know what I mean?
yeah.
You know what I mean? You be your own sound guy. The way I look at it. So yeah.
I'll fucking outcrank everyone. Fuck you, I got this.
Yeah. I'm old school like that. What can I say? But
No, I get it. I trust me, I get it. We've played with some pretty shitty fucking systems.
yeah, you gotta adapt night by night. You never know what you're dealing with sometimes, but you make it work.
Yeah,
That's
for
part of
sure.
so.
So that run that you guys are that you were just talking about, Ben, ending at Black Circle, when about is that?
So that is gonna be starting like late May, like right after Milwaukee Metal Fest. Because Bioaggression is playing that. And yeah, I can give you the exact date if you want. I'll just have to pull it up. But yeah, I'm so stoked to be going on the road with those guys. Like, they've been a band like since the late '80s. Like they toured with Death and stuff like back in the day, and then they kind of had a bit of a hiatus, and then they came back
Yeah.
recently. Yeah, just been a really big fan of them for a couple of years, and then they reached out to us about doing a run. I was like, dude, like fuck yeah, like let's
Hell
do it.
yeah.
But it's starting on May 24th. That's a Friday. It's starting in Minneapolis, or no, St. Paul. Same difference.
Yeah.
And then and then
Fucking Twin
basically
Cities.
right. And then we're looping over and down to like Colorado, going south through Texas. I think we have like 5 or 6 shows in Texas. Then we're coming back up and we're hitting Louisville, Little Rock. Yeah, we Magbar I think is the venue for
Cool.
Louisville. So and I've heard really good things about that spot, so I'm stoked to check it out.
Yeah, probably from Austin and Brian.
Yeah, oh yeah, they've played. I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, with
That's
Schwartz.
actually so I met Austin at Magbar when Casket Robbery was on tour with the Convalescents.
Oh no shit. Oh
Yeah.
yeah. Oh yeah. No, I've heard really good things about that spot. Like that's kind of an area we've kind of neglected so far. You know what I mean? And Yeah, all the bands on all the shows, like all the locals are fucking sick too. Like there's not one local where I like don't fuck with their music and they're just filler, you know what I mean? So I'm just really stoked to just meet new homies, you know what I mean?
For
And just
sure. Well, I'd be interested to know who's playing the Louisville show with you guys.
I believe it's Execution and one other band. I can find it, but I know Execution is one of them. They used to be called 10 Years Buried. And I think they recently changed their name. I'll have to check on that other one, but they're both fucking sick.
Okay.
Um, so
I
so
know
yeah.
we've got some, I'll say for Louisville, it's we've got some fucking killer talent here.
Yeah. Well, fucking Gates to Hell, right? Aren't they from
Yeah.
Louisville? Hell yeah. I've still
Yeah,
never seen them, but they're fucking great.
they're great. Yep. And Volcandra.
Oh yeah, I've seen them before. Yeah, they're
Yep,
they're really fucking nice dudes too. Super chill.
for
They
sure.
they were on tour with Toxic Ruin and they
Mhm.
played just across the street from me at Crucible. So I was like, I have no excuse not to go to this, and I'm glad I did. They're fucking sick. So
Yeah, and their new album is fucking phenomenal.
yeah, I have to check it out still, but yeah, I've heard good things.
Yeah, it's pretty fucking fantastic. Like each one of their albums has changed just a little bit, and it's the Way of the Ancients is a little less black metal and more into like metal, like a blackened mellow death,
Sure,
which
sure.
is
Yeah, they have a really cool blend of influences for sure.
yeah, that's the
Yeah.
fucking and they're fantastic musicians too.
Oh yeah, super fucking super tight. Oh yeah.
Yeah, so I'll have to talk. I think that'll be a good show. So Magbar, typically those shows are you know, with the right talent, the right local talent, those fucking shows will pack out. I mean, it doesn't hold a lot of people, but you fucking get in there, it's like, holy shit.
Yeah, yeah, that seems like the spot for Louisville. Like I see a lot of tour flyers, and when they run through Louisville, it's usually Mag Bar.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I was just like, oh, let's try this out. So I think it's like a Friday. I could be wrong, but it
Okay.
should be like a. It's not like a middle of the week show. I think it's like a Thursday or Friday. So
Yeah, that'll be good. I got
I'm really yeah.
got a buddy with a record label. I'll have him fucking come out too.
Oh no shit.
Yeah.
What label?
Sweet.
Uh Third House Communications.
Oh okay. I haven't heard of them, but yeah, fucking bring it, man. Hell yeah.
No, he like so he did it years ago and decided he wanted to do it again. So now he he started, I think he's got two, he's released two so far. They've got two pre-orders going, and there's, I don't know, maybe another 15 or 16 scheduled to, get rolling over the next year. So
Awesome. Oh yeah. What's up?
yeah, yeah, he's a good dude. Um, yeah, that'll be a good show. We'll fucking I'll spread the word. I'll get some of the dudes here. Actually, dude, Death in the Midwest, there was quite a few Louisville people that were up there. I was surprised.
Yeah. Well, I guess it's not too far.
No.
Uh, you know what I mean? So yeah, it seems like the indie and the Louisville scene are kind of like I don't know. A lot of the bands are playing in each other's cities like all the time and stuff. You know?
Yeah.
So
Yeah, because it's really an easy trip right up and down 65.
yeah.
You're like 2 hours away. So even after the show, it's like, yeah, I can just fucking drive home. I'm good.
Right. Right. We kind of have that with like Illinois and Minnesota, just a little bit. You know, because
Yeah.
they're like our neighbors and stuff. Like, some people like almost think we're like a Minnesota band. You know what I mean? It's like weird we have draw there. You know, because we've only played there like a few times. We're like. I don't know. It's always cool to see people come out to see you, and they're not even from your hometown. You know what I mean? That's
Yeah.
always cool. Like, yeah, and they like know some of them know like our lyrics and shit, and they're like shouting them at us. They got like bootleg like patches with our logo on them and shit. I'm just like, dude, fuck yeah, that's awesome. You know,
Like,
it's a little
but pay
surreal.
me, motherfucker. Pay
Yeah,
me.
exactly, exactly.
I guess that means you got to get some fucking patches going.
We did finally after I saw like fucking 10 bootleg patches out in the wild. I was like, all right, we got to get on this, and but it's always like surreal to see something like that for the first time. But
Yeah.
it's definitely cool.
Yeah. Well, and also, right, like when you start hearing, oh, people are actually talking about us, like what the fuck?
Yeah, right, exactly. It's fucking cool.
So, you said you're writing new material for the next release?
Yeah, so I have about 5 songs demoed right now. We're playing 2 of them live. I've just been writing lyrics for them because we don't know who is going to be the vocalist yet, so I've been, you know, doing my best. But I feel like I have the cadence kind of down with the riffs, you know what I mean, and working through it and stuff. But yeah, we're just looking to kind of do like 5 or 6 songs, demo it, see what opportunities come our way. Just keep playing and playing out as much as we can. Um, we're not like in a hurry to release it or anything because it hasn't been like even a year since our like last EP.
Damn near.
Yeah, but almost. But yeah, like I really want to though. I'm really eager to release this shit because it's in my opinion like way better. Um, it's more fun for you to play. Like I said, it's a little more meticulous, um, but a lot more dynamic too. I would say. Definitely pulling a lot of influences from like Skeletor Main's analepsy shit. I mean, a little bit of stab wounds too, and just kind of you know doing our take on it basically. And yeah, yeah,
Huh.
really fun playing these songs live. Like the crowd response to them has been fucking great every time. So stoked to put more of them in the set slowly as we get them out. So
Yeah, you guys had a really good response at Black Circle. Everyone was really into you, so that was really cool. Illusion of Fate did really well too. I'd never seen them live.
yeah, yeah, no,
Yeah,
they're
they
really
got an album coming out next week, right? Or is
No,
it?
something
May
like I think in May.
Or,
Yeah, Portal
May
oh, it's
Secure.
all the way in May. It's coming out. Okay.
May
So we're
10th.
kind of
Ooh,
planning it around Milwaukee Metal Fest.
Yeah, they'll
Yeah,
release it on the
we're lucky.
10th.
We've already heard it.
yeah.
Yeah,
Hayden's like sending me all the songs. Like, do you think this is good, man? Like, do you think like be real, be real? I'm
like
like, yeah, it's good, Hayden. You're fucking amazing.
no, it all sucks, dude. Start over, scrap it.
Yeah,
He'd be
yeah.
like, damn it, you motherfucker.
Yeah. Oh, Hayden's actually my guitar teacher, so I can't talk shit on him.
Oh, hell
'Cause,
yeah, you can.
yeah, he'll start charging me more for lessons. So
Like you're already paying him, I'm sure. So like talk
yeah,
shit. Talk
right,
shit, have fun.
right. Yeah, no, he's a fucking phenomenal guitarist. Like seriously, just watching him play like makes me want to practice like
Yeah.
all the time. You know what I mean? So,
Yeah, and Austin's a badass behind that kit, dude.
oh yeah, most
I'm
definitely.
I'm like, I fucking I used to say, yeah, I could play drums. Fuck no, I can't. Like,
Yeah,
Jesus Christ.
not the way he does, man.
That's what I think when I see him play. He was giving me some heel toe lessons while we were out on the road with him. And I'm like showing him how I'm just starting to get the technique down. He's like, "Oh yeah, that's good. You just gotta like lower the motion a little bit." He starts doing it perfectly. I'm like, "Ah, god damn, he's good."
Yeah.
Dick, don't show me up already. I'm just trying to learn still. Yeah, that's cool though, because Austin's one of those dudes that he'll sit there and have that conversation. He wants to learn and he wants to teach, which is really fucking cool.
Yeah, yeah, he's super
Hmm.
down to earth and just willing to show you. I mean, everybody in that band is,
Yeah.
we ask him for advice all the time and vice versa. And yeah, it's really cool when you can, share that with another band. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Everyone
Yeah,
coming up together really fucking, it really helps because you end up being like a support system for each other.
yeah, yeah. A lot of bands are like, no, I'm not going to give you my venue contacts. Like those are for me. I'm just like, why fucking not, dude? Like you don't want the bands around you to like do good. Like if everybody else around you in the scene is doing good, like you kind of are too, because now you have more bands to tour with. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? And also, like, why would you not want other people to succeed? It's kind of a shitty mentality. You know
That's
what I mean? But it's more common than you'd think, you know?
well, and it is on the lower levels when you look at the larger bands, like talking to those guys, like Kerry King, super supportive of all the other bands that he's associated with, right, or that he has friends in, and vice versa. So it's cool to hear the stories from some of those guys, like when Kerry first when Kerry King's band first announced, right, that they were like playing. Who was I talking to? I was talking to someone and they're like, "Oh, dude, I was texting with Kerry, like, dude, I played the last fucking show with Slayer, and I get to play the first show where fucking Kerry King's band is coming back. How fucking cool is that?
Yeah. Yeah. Always like the most successful musicians are always the most down to earth and just chill. You know what I mean? Like I'm always like even yesterday, like opening up for Fuming Mouth, I was like, oh man, like what am I gonna say to these guys? Like they're up here or whatever, you know what I mean? But they're just super like, oh dude, like you fuck with our band? Fuck yeah, like that's fucking awesome, you know? And it's like they were stoked to see us too, because it's like people that are like they're confident with themselves, they're secure, it's like all
Yeah.
the wannabe lower tier bands, they're the ones who are, they're the ones who have the egos because it's like projection.
Well, and those bands they generally don't go anywhere, right? Because at the end of the day, what really needs to happen is everyone needs to support each other, right? Go out to the shows and you try to give tips and exchange contacts to fucking maybe a club or whatever that is. Because when everyone or when one person or band is successful and they're passing that on to other bands, all it does is I'm
Yeah,
going to say cross pollinate, right?
yeah,
Um, God, that's a stupid story. So so you fucking need it, and the more supportive everyone is of each other, the more successful the whole community is.
most definitely. Yeah. I mean that's what I enjoy most, you know what I mean, is just like seeing the other band sets, like it's cool for us to play, like I love that too, but it's just like I don't know. I love being a fan of the bands we play with too, and
Yeah,
it's no better feeling than you know, playing a show with a band like you really fuck with and then they fuck with your band, you know what I mean? It's just like, I don't know, some validating shit.
for sure.
So yeah,
Yeah.
no, that's what it's all
I,
about, So
So uh I guess yeah, over the next year for Yotuma, what's the plan? What's the goal?
basically, just keep doing what we're doing. Basically, just keep grinding. Kind of just tour around the Midwest circuit. Just kind of run the Midwest circuit and just kind of slowly expand. Like we did a couple bigger tours, like out on the West Coast and the East Coast. The West Coast one was really really fun because we did it with Pyrexia and Embryonic Autopsy, and everybody in those bands are just like so cool to hang out with. So we had a great time out there. Um, and then on the East Coast one, that was with Abolishment of Flesh, and same thing, like great dudes, great time hanging out and shit like that. But we kind of realized doing those tours, like I think we're biting off a little more than we can chew right away, because it's like, okay, we just played in California, we just played in like Baltimore. Like when is the next time we're gonna be over here? You know what I mean? Like not anytime soon because that's all the fucking way on the coast. So it's just like, I think we had this wrong strategy at first. Because it's like in order to be known somewhere, you gotta tour through multiple times before people like remember you and they're like, oh, this fucking band. You know what I mean? So I think instead of having that strategy where we just go all the fucking way over here, and don't go back for like a year or so or whatever, I think we're just gonna kind of hit up the Midwest kind of and South like more consistently. You know what I mean? And kind of
Yeah.
just slowly expand that way.
Well, I think what a lot of smaller bands do is they focus on a region
Yeah.
and they fucking hammer that region as much as they can. And as their crowds grow and their fan base grows, some of those bigger bands are like, hey, why don't you fucking come out with us?
Yeah.
Right? Come out, do this. We'll take you to fucking Canada or, Joe's Garage or whatever the fuck else.
Yeah. Yeah. Most definitely. Yeah, for sure. Um, but yeah, no, I feel like, I mean, the weekend warrior shit works too. I mean, it's like we all have day jobs, and it's just like doing this shit is not fucking cheap. So
Mm.
we'll probably do like more smaller runs too, like 4 or 5 day runs and just kind of just in little pockets of the country, and stuff like that. But no, I'm really looking forward to doing a proper 2 week tour with Bioaggression though. I was like, for a band like them, I'm like, I'm not just gonna do a run. We gotta full send it. And I don't know. I enjoy being on the road. A lot of people don't, but I mean, once you get used to it, like I don't know, it's pretty fun. You know what I mean? We're looking to get a bigger bus though, because we just use my shitty fucking '89 Chevy G10 right now for touring, and it gets a little cramped in there. You can't really stretch out in it. So I guess next step would be get a bus, with bunks and shit, just to make touring a little more comfortable. But once,
Slow down on the bus. That shit's expensive.
I mean, like it's worth it, and with how
It's a short bus, not like a full length diesel bus, just a nice little short Chevy bus that Ben rode to school back in the day.
Yeah, yeah, we get a short bus, ironically enough, but like it's practical. You know what I mean? We'll probably still use a trailer though. Just to, I don't know, make it as luxurious as possible. As much space in there. So,
Yeah.
uh, but
I think
yeah,
Hemorrhage does that. They've got their bus that they take, and it was like a small like city transport bus.
sure.
They're what are they doing? They're on tour right now. I want to see the inside of it because I'm interested to know how it's set up because like they pull up to a fucking venue and instead of going in and playing as people are coming out, they're fucking in their bus playing. So it's like,
Right. That's
all
why I
right,
love watching a digital tour bus or whatever. Just seeing like everybody's take on,
yeah,
I don't know. That shit's fascinating to me because like I did the interior of our van, like I did all the flooring and made the bunks and shit. Like I do construction, like for my day job and stuff, so I'm like into that. But I always love to see like how people try and make it like as efficient as possible. I think my favorite digital tour bus episode I saw was like Eric Rutan because he had like this sprinter or whatever. And I don't know, just the way he organized it was like really smart. Like he didn't even need a trailer just because he utilized the space for gear like efficiently and stuff. And yeah, same thing. He still has room in there to practice, like on this little tiny little fucking combo amp. You know what I mean? Um, but yeah, I don't know. I think that shit's cool. I think.
he's a fucking badass too.
Oh yeah, dude, fucking phenomenal guitar player and producer.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
and no fucking sprinter anymore. He's on the CC bus.
yeah, yeah. He's got the full tour bus now with
Yeah.
fucking drivers and shit.
That was,
So
did you guys, did that tour come to you guys with, Cannibal Corpse, Mayhem, Gore Guts, and Blood Incantation?
it was like Minneapolis and Chicago, and I think it was like a Tuesday and Wednesday that the shows were on, and I was just like, I've already taken so much PTO for for touring and shit. I was like, I can't make it. I really wanted to go to that specifically to see Gore Guts and Blood Incantation though, because like Gore Guts doesn't tour the states like that often.
Right.
I mean, they're kind of rare to see, and all my homies that like saw them were just like, "Oh, they're fucking amazing." I was like, "God damn it! Like, when's the next time they're gonna be back?"
They were, and so was fucking Blood Incantation.
Yeah, yeah. I've never seen Blood Incantation either, and they're one of my favorite like new wave death metal bands. Just kind of in like a category of their own. You can't really compare them to anybody. You
Yeah,
know,
they're so fucking atmospheric, dude. It's great.
yeah. Everybody's giving them shit for their new electronic album and then shit. What Time Wave Zero or whatever.
Yeah.
I actually dug it. I think it's a pretty ballsy move to just not even, you know, like put something out that most of your fan base is gonna be like, "What the fuck is this?" Or like, "We're doing whatever we want, bitch." Like, get used to it.
Well,
Like
I think for a band, I think that needs to be, we're gonna do whatever we want regardless. But you're right. For someone to step so far out of the fucking box is like, whoa.
I can't name a single other band that would be that ballsy to do that.
I
Like
mean,
honestly,
Metallica.
I mean, yeah, yeah, right. Well, they're trying to be accessible, I guess. That's a different thing, but
I don't know if they were trying to be accessible as much as like, who they had producing was such, it was a fucking left turn for them, right? Because Bob Rock didn't come in until the Black Album, and then, you look at a lot of the shit post Black Album, and it's like, what?
yeah, yeah. I think Metallica's best record ever was their cover album for sure.
Which
Like Black,
one?
I don't know, Garage Inc.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. That Black Sabbath cover they did went hard as fuck for real.
Yeah, there were some really good songs on that, but like my favorite Metallica album's Justice.
Yeah, no, I'm
Mm.
completely kidding. Fuck
I
that.
know. I know. No, like that album, it really isn't that bad. Of course, I'm a little bit older, so like Bob Seger's Turn the Page, it was really, really different. And I grew up in Detroit, so like Bob Seger was all around all the time. So it was nice hearing it a little heavier. And then, I fucking love Thin Lizzy. So when they were doing Whiskey by the Jar, is like, holy fuck.
Yeah, yeah. Then Lizzie fucking rules for sure. I don't care what anybody says.
I don't think anyone talks any shit about them because they're fucking
Yeah.
badass.
Right.
Yeah.
I would hope not.
Yeah. Um, so if you guys had the opportunity to open for like one band for a month, what band would that be?
Suffocation.
Dude,
I
they
think
would
that's
make us
agreed
look
upon.
so fucking bad though. Like they're the tightest band in the
Oh
world.
yeah, they would.
How can you like open for that? Like it would absolutely just destroy my self-esteem opening for that band. But definitely like when we're tighter and better, like yes, Suffo for sure. Really, I thought you were gonna say Acacia Strain, Brevin. That's surprising.
I mean, yeah, that'd be fun too. I'd love to do that. I'd love to open for Acacia Strain for a month.
That's like your life goal, I thought.
Yeah, it pretty much is.
Yeah, that's tough. Um, I don't know. Yeah, I guess I would love to go on the road with fucking Guar for a month. That would be fun as fuck. Just because of I don't know, watching their show every night it would be just fucking tits.
Yeah, you'd end up being one of their slaves.
Yeah, yeah. That would be fucking sick. That would be better than playing in a band, honestly. Having that as a full-time job, you're just fucking Guar's stunt guy or whatever. That'd be fucking sick. Yeah.
Yeah, but I think most of the people that do that shit all do other stuff.
Oh,
Uh, like one of one of the people who was in the band uh I had a conversation with, and they don't make a lot of money at all. You gotta have another gig. Like they do, there are so many moving pieces to Guar that it takes a lot of fucking money.
oh yeah, no doubt.
Hmm.
Yeah, those people that are like doing, they're slaves or they're probably like roadies too. They're probably fucking selling merch. They're probably doing fucking everything.
They're in other bands, they're local bands, shit like that.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Who was it? Don Slater from Battlecross was when they did a tour with him, he ended up being one of their slaves.
Oh, really? I didn't know that. That's kind of funny.
Yeah.
So it's literally other bands that are on the tour package. They
Yeah.
they just have to. That's so fucking funny. That's awesome.
Yeah. So
Experience.
you could be you open for Guar and be part of the show.
Yeah, that sounds like the best gig, honestly. I mean, after a few nights, it'd probably get pretty fucking old, but like maybe not a full month, but a few shows with Guar.
A few shows.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know how they always do it, but I know Don was super excited to fucking do it. And that dude is such a badass fucking bass player. Jesus Christ.
Oh yeah.
All right, so we have Guar and Suffocation and or the Acacia Strain.
I would love to go on definitely Devourment too. Devourment for sure. I kind of just started getting into them recently, but like I don't know, their shows like go so fucking hard. That just because like I don't know, knowing we're playing in front of a bunch of Devourment fans, that are gonna go hard as fuck, like that would be some good peace of mind for the whole tour. You know what I
Oh
mean?
yeah.
But yeah, for sure, for sure.
200 stab wounds as well. That would be fun. They always have those hype crowds for them. I'm very jealous about that. And we opened for them once, and I remember before the show, a buddy of mine told me that they were kind of like stuck up assholes the one time he met them, and you heard from other people they're kind of stuck up assholes. I'm like, huh, I wonder if that's true. And we did not play a good show. That was not one of our best shows opening up for them. But still, even though we sucked that night, after the show, they were hanging out with us, smoking outside the joint. I was talking football with their bass player. They were the chillest, coolest dudes. I would love to talk Browns football with those guys for a month and just hang out with them. Really great guys. And yeah, they know how to hype a crowd up.
Hell yeah. Yeah,
Yeah,
they always put on a really good fucking show too.
yeah, no ego at all. They're just super fucking.
Yeah, no ego. My buddy was lying.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, who the fuck said that? I've never heard anybody talk shit about the Sablings.
that's funny. He
Yeah.
probably heard through the grapevine, oh, they're stuck up assholes.
Yeah. Yeah, shit gets misconstrued like that, and people just keep spreading rumors.
For sure.
Someone probably tried selling them some like really, really bad drugs and they're like, no, thank you. And they're like, oh, fuck you guys, you're assholes.
You don't want my fucking fentanyl laced heroin. Get away from me, you fucker. Like, what? Dickheads.
Yeah.
Oh fuck. So I know you're not in a hurry to release the new stuff. Do you have a timeline to start recording it?
Well, we have a lot of downtime. Next month, April. We're kind of just playing one show in Green Bay with a bunch of homies. Shout out Funerary Outlook, Ruined Dweller, Choke. That's gonna be a good ass fucking show. And then we're just kind of laying low until we get really fucking busy in May. We just got a new show offer today. I'm not allowed to talk about it yet, but it's like two really fucking really good bands at X-Ray Arcade. That's all I'm gonna say. But be on the lookout for that if you're in the Milwaukee area for sure. And then we got a Ohio run in May too. Actually, we're hitting up Louisville area. It's like Jefferson, Indiana, which is like basically
Jeffersonville, you're going the wrong side.
yeah, yep, like the only venue there.
Well, the alcove is another one.
Oh, okay, got you. I've never played there, so I'm not sure, but
Yeah.
we're doing that, and the day before we're playing at Legends in Cincinnati
Okay.
with like Scab Hag, Casketborn, Dark Druid, like a bunch of bands. And then we're doing the Vio tour, so I'm like, it's looking like the rest of the year is going to be busy as fuck for us. So I'm just really trying to utilize the month we have off, or one show in, just to kind of just get a demo going. Probably just have to use an electronic kit for Brevin because
I just bought an electronic kit today.
oh, you did?
A
Hell
lot
yeah.
of money, and I'm not proud of it.
Oh. Your sacrifice is appreciated.
Whatever
yeah.
you can do to make it fucking work.
Right. But we're actually going to be recording the demo with Hayden from Illusion of Fate, actually, because he does production and stuff as well. And I'm completely trust him to, like, he knows our sound. He's been seeing us play for, years now. So I think his vision and our vision will definitely be compatible for, like, what, we want to present for the demo and stuff.
Cool.
So,
Yeah, it always helps when you're fucking friends,
yeah, right. Yeah. But yeah, hopefully by April it's at least recorded. I know we're gonna write shit after the demo's recording, like, oh, fuck, I wish we would have put that on it, but it's just like we're not gonna have free time to record really after that, so just kind of have to pause it and get it done. So
Yep, for
Yeah,
sure.
the goal with the demo is basically we've been talking with we have talked to a couple record labels in the past, and our goal is with this demo is to put it out for the labels to see, or just record the demo, give it to the labels, see if anyone wants to invest in promoting us, see if anyone's willing to give us something that we can agree to. If so, great. Then we can give them a full album, including the demo. And if we don't see anything that we like, we'll just put it out as an EP.
Can I?
we already
I'm
got like a label offer, and it was pretty like, it sounded good on paper, but then when you look at the fine print, it's like, oh, never mind. You know what I mean? That's the thing. You got to be super diligent about it. Like, we weren't about to just jump at the first thing we got.
No, I'm gonna tell you guys, right? Like, you listen to a lot of the old heads that have been doing this a minute. And Jimmy Bauer is one that I reference a lot because I talked to, like, when I was talking to him with I Hate God, what they do is they pay for everything for the recording and all that. So they own everything. It's their vision, and then they license it to labels.
Yeah.
Right. And what that does for you guys is that one, it doesn't put you in the hole to anyone. You have complete creative control over the album. So there's no, you need to change this or any bullshit like that. Like it's all you. And at the end of the day, you guys own everything. A lot of times with those labels, what they do is you sign away your publishing rights. So you're giving publishing rights to the fucking label so they can license it. And it ends up hurting the band in the long run.
Yeah, that's definitely a really smart strategy. I'm pretty sure Blood Incantation does the same thing. I was watching like an interview with like Paul from Blood Incantation. I think he said that's what they do too. Like they pay for all their production, and that way, you know, they're not tied in and you know with one label for the rest of their career, and they can do whatever they want with their material. But honestly, like to have that freedom, paying for production, not that big of an investment. Honestly, like well worth it. You know what I mean? Just a drop in the bucket compared to like what your potential royalties could be, you know what I
Well,
mean?
and to be able to pay for that, the freedom, the creative freedom, so you guys can do whatever the fuck you want is, that in itself is priceless in my opinion.
Oh yeah, most definitely. I mean, I'm not gonna like name names, but there's a lot of like death metal bands that I was super into when they first came out, just doing whatever they wanted, and then they got signed, and now I can tell that they're being steered in a certain direction
Mhm.
to be a little more like radio friendly. You know what I mean? And I just don't want to be one of those bands. You know, they would just defeat the purpose of why we're doing this. You know
Right.
what I mean? Why would I want that? You know, I wouldn't want to go on the road and play some shit I don't fuck with. You know, that sounds terrible. So
Yeah, I mean, if you're gonna do that, you may as well be in a fucking cover band.
yeah,
Yeah,
I'd
we
rather
might as well make money doing it by being a cover band.
That's
I'd rather work a day job than be in a cover band.
Damn right, damn right.
that's
I did
fucking
the cover
funny.
band route. I did the cover band route right out of high school. Like the first year out of high school, I was playing with cover bands and I was making money to be able to live on my own and everything. Not have a day job. But after a year of doing it, man, it was daunting on my soul and I could not do it anymore.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Fuck all that.
Mhm.
All right. So Brevin, Ben, I'm gonna say we're coming to an end. I greatly appreciate you guys taking time out of your night to chat with me. I think we've had a pretty fucking killer conversation, and I'm looking forward to seeing all the content that comes from this. I'm looking forward to seeing all the stuff that happens to you guys, right? Keep grinding.
Yeah, thanks so much for having us,
Awesome.
man.
Thank you.
Yeah, oh yeah, man. And looking forward to seeing you at the Louisville shows if you come out or the Black Circle one. So
For
oh
sure.
yeah,
Well, and I might do Legends too, because Legends is it's like that's why I like Louisville. It's an hour and a half to Cincinnati, 2 hours to Indianapolis. So to do those three would be fucking fantastic.
hell yeah, dude. Yeah, no, the lineups for all those are fucking sick. So
Hell yeah. Will you send those to me?
oh, the Flyers, yeah, yeah, I got you for sure,
Cool.
man.
All right, guys, have yourself a great night.
You too, man. Really appreciate it, man.
Thank you.
Hell yeah. See ya.